Hey guys, I'm Allison from Gilbert Taping, and today I'm going to show you how to do a drywall patch. Got my drill. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the piece of plywood that I got, and I'm going to put it in here and then screw the existing wall into it. My wall that's already strong will be connected to this, so when I get the patch into it, it's a reinforcement for it not to be all dangly. Okay. So when working with drywall, you want to make sure that your screw is not outside of your board. You want it to go in a little bit, but not too much, because if it's too far in, it will eventually cause the drywall to pull away from it and you'll have screw bobs. Now that I have this in place, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be solid for my new piece of drywall to screw into and add some support. Right here to approximately here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that quick. What's cool with drywall is that you can just literally cut it on the surface, and it is so easy to work with that you just bend it and then just cut the back of it. Okay. Yeah, so if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world, because you'll have to mud over it anyways. So here. Oh. So I got my piece of drywall, fits in there. It's not going to cause any issues anywhere. I broke the corner off because I'm an idiot. That's okay, nothing mud can't fix. Once you see that it starts curving around your screw, that's when you know you're good to stop. Oops. I'm gonna add another one right beside this one just because I don't want it to pop off. Okay, just a little bit in. We're good. So because my patch is not perfect and there's quite a bit of gaps, I'm going to pre-fill it and let that dry before I put any tape on. So what you need to do drywall, obviously some sort of knife. And I'm going to use my trowel just to grab it on. If you don't have a trowel, just use a pan. You can dig it from the bucket if it's easier for you. Because you're doing a small patch, you're not going to need much mud, so I would recommend buying just a single bucket of all-purpose compound, because the all-purpose compound contains glue, which will make it good to tape and to use as your coat. So we're going to pre-fill everything. I'm struggling with it, so I'm just going to use the other side, and that's going to be that. I would recommend you taking it off though. I'm gonna grab a little bit of compound from my bucket. So to pre-fill, I like to pretty much slap it in there so that your mud will go as far as possible and not just be in surface, and that's what's gonna help and be strong behind your tape. So if you slap it like that and then wipe it, and it will be a more flat surface to apply your tape to later on. So I'm going to do that all around, not around the window, but all around the patch here where I have my new joints. So let that dry and we'll be back tomorrow. Today we are taping. I'm first gonna be grabbing my knife and scraping off anything that's on there to make sure there's no bumps under my tape. Just to make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, so we're gonna be using our all-purpose compound once again, and I will be using some fiber fuse to tape it. You can also use some paper tape. If you really want to, you can use mesh tape. I personally don't like mesh tape, but it's your house. You do what you want. I really do love the fiber fuse for patches though, so I recommend it. So, you're basically gonna want to put mud in the exact same spots you already pre-filled. So I'm gonna go like this, just put my mud on there. So yeah, you want to be leaving quite a thick layer of mud on there. Once your mud's on the wall, you grab your tape or fiber fuse or whatever you're going to be using, and you're going to put it right on your mud where the joint is. You want to have your joint pretty much on the center of your tape. Then you cut it off, and same thing here. And then you cut it off. Now that these are on, you want to be wiping it. Just use your finger, make sure it doesn't move. And then you wipe to remove all the excess mud from underneath so that your tape will be nice and tight on your joint. Something that helps as well is starting near the center and dragging the mud out, and then back from the center and dragging the mud out the other way. Hold it down. Just cut them up. And once again, we're gonna let that dry, and then we'll come back for the next coat. All right, so my tape's all dry, so now we're gonna be doing the first coat of mud over it. I'm gonna be using my knife and trowel for this. If you prefer using a wider knife, you can. It's gonna be the same thing. Be making sure there's mud everywhere on this, and then I'm still gonna go around the tape and go wider than what it is to make sure everything looks good and that our patch becomes invisible. Once you have mud everywhere that you need it to be, you're gonna go ahead and wipe it again so that it's now a smoother coat, not like this. So I like to start by feathering my edges out with my knife. So what that is that you want to apply pressure on the outside, and then it will leave you a nice finish around your patch. It doesn't need to be perfect because you'll be doing another coat. So everything is nice and dry. So we're ready for the next coat. Before you put more mud on, you want to either scrape all these bumps off or do a light sand. I'm just going to be scraping them off with my knife. Should be good, so we can put some more mud on. Okay, so you want to get that as nice and smooth as you possibly can. If you struggle and it still doesn't look good, let it dry and just do one more coat. It doesn't hurt to just add more mud if you're not happy with it. Finally, sanding time. So all you're gonna need is a sponge. I'd recommend using a 180 to 220 grit so you don't have to work too hard, but it's not gonna leave big scratches. Wear a mask. You don't want your lungs to get affected by all that dust. And use a light of some sort. So I have here a Festool light. You can use just a regular flashlight, anything. It's just to shine wherever you're sanding so that you can see any imperfections and get rid of them. And just like that, you're ready to prime and then paint. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a like. You can leave a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like us to give you a tutorial on. And yeah, thank you.